So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Yin. My name is Alex. It's a privilege to be here today. And we're going to start today in just a comfortable seated position. Okay? So sitting in a comfortable seated position, just ankles underneath your knees. Keep it really simple today. Even if you do have the capacity to bring it to the heel, right? Just keep it nice and comfortable and loose. We're gonna do some square pose and some shoelace, so we'll get in a good way with our hips today. So let's just feel how we feel sitting comfortably. For me, it's always right in front of left, and we're gonna explore that a little bit, that idea. But before we do, we're gonna do some breathing. We're gonna really stimulate the parasympathetic system. So there's two systems in the autonomic system, right? There's sympathetic, which is fight and flight. There's parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. Parasympathetic, I always imagine it as hips and head. Sympathetic, fight or flight, is basically everything in between. Heart space. So we're gonna really try and relax this. And how we do it through the breath is by increasing the exhalation, because the exhalation is your exaltation. So may your inhalation be your inspiration, inhaling through the nose. And now again, really exhaling all the way out, smooth and long, almost twice as long. Inhale. Exhale. And you can exhale through the mouth or the nose, whichever you prefer. Just keep exhaling as long as you can. You don't have to follow me. Right? My pattern might be a little bit longer than yours. That's okay. Just keep feeling that elasticity. As you get to the bottom of the breath, that's the important part. It's like knocking on a trampoline. And if you knock hard enough on a trampoline, your arm flies back up, right? If you jump hard enough on a trampoline, you jump up higher. So the inhale becomes increased by the exhale being increased. So you are, in a way, which almost sounds oxymoronic, you're actually stimulating or increasing that which is calming you down. So we're accelerating, we're intensifying, we're motivating that which chills us out, that which helps us rest and digest. And it's just through breathing. As we increase the exhale, right, and where our natural inhale comes to us, that was almost 3 times as long. And by doing that, your system starts to stimulate your relaxation method, right? There is a method to this madness, right? That's the logic of the biological, right? We are beings. And in order to really truly understand ourselves as a being, we first have to understand what it is to be. And so now on your next inhale, hold the breath. So exhale all the way. Feel that rebound. There's mine. Bring it all the way up. And as you hold your breath in, bring your arms out in front of you and keep holding your breath. And starting to walk forward as you hold your breath for 10, 9, keep walking forward, 8, 7, I think you know where we're gonna go. When we get to 0, we exhale and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax down. 1, exhale the breath. Right, and just relax. If your ankles are sore for any reason, you can put a blanket under them, right, a pillow. Sometimes I even put just my hand. Again, this is a nice thick carpet, so for me, I'm okay. But depending on what your surface area is, right, that ankle might be a little bony. And again, I notice sometimes when we push through that, that's not what we're actually pushing through. right? We want to push through strong sensation, not sharp electrical, right? That's just bone rubbing on a thin, surface. If their surface is thicker, you won't feel it. And that's the difference. But what you're feeling in your lower back, what you're feeling perhaps underneath your armpits, in your neck, that's the strong sensation we're breathing through. That's the sensation we're moving through. Right? We want to break through, not break down. That's the part of the practice that we have to stay attentive to. That's the awareness that we seek by being the change we seek. Right? So the awareness is in the change, because the only thing that doesn't change in this universe is change itself. And so allowing ourselves to change, slowly coming up, right? Again, your breath may become more shorter and sweeter, and that's fine. We're gonna increase it once again once we switch the legs. So coming back, just uncross your legs, give them a little shake. I like to just press the tops of the knees down towards the floor, the backs of the knees, however you want to see it as. Good, and then we switch it up. This time it's the uncomfortable grip, right? The uncomfortable cross, the one that we're not really used to. So again, that hip, even on me, it is a little higher. That's okay, right? It will change. So again, we're doing that same breathing again to stimulate parasympathetic activity in the body, that which helps us rest and digest. So it's a momentum, a natural momentum internally. So if you haven't started already, let's begin. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. That's one breath. Right? You don't have to follow me. But as you increase exhale, inhale will also reciprocally increase. You'll want to bring more in. You'll want to push more out. Because as you start to scan the body with the breath, don't wait for me, right? I'm the teacher. So my job is to keep giving you teachings. So as you continue to breathe all the way in, all the way out, experience your own experience of elasticity, of reciprocity, of reciprocation, of true dialectic or communication. Right? Inhaling, you're feeling that energy rise up in the body. Even though it's coming in top to bottom, you're feeling it bottom to top. And as you exhale, even though it's coming out top to bottom, as you're feeling it bottom to top, you're feeling it top to bottom. And I'm just giving you a visual with my hand. You don't have to do this. You just sit there in the experience. But that's the feeling with each inhale and exhale. With each inhale, I feel this rising up of the energy. With each exhale, I feel this downward and inward motion of the energy. Good. And on the next one, inhale, let's hold the breath. And as we hold the breath for 10, same thing, start to crawl forward, nice and slow. No rush to get there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, timing your relaxation with the exhale. Let it go, let it flow. Relax your head, relax your shoulders. Let everything relax. And as everything relaxes, then we just get into a good way again. Right? The breath becomes natural, which can be long and peaceful. It can be short and sweet. It could be a lunar ujjayi, which is a very light ujjayi, which is that contraction in the throat. As we breathe through the nose, it's like smoldering sound. It's not very intense, so you can keep it very light in your yin. You don't want to stimulate too much. You want to move toward the yin, which is the dark, which is the lunar, which is the feminine aspects in ourselves. Right? Settling in. Not settling, settling in. Right? Letting go, letting flow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale to come up. Good. And just relax, arms back. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor now and windshield wiper the legs. A little different than before as we transitioned. And just allow yourself to have that transition. Moving left and right. I hope you can hear the beautiful music behind me. It was orchestrated live, produced live, performed live by one of my best friends, Bo. Actually, this shirt was given to me as a gift from him. It's eclipse, sun behind the moon. That's really what our yin is like, right? The yin is this idea of the didgeridoo, the hips, the low tone, the beauty of the percussion, the drum, the heart, merging together with the ambient sound, right? The high tones. And that's the head. So as we move the body, hips, heart, head, knees drop right, look left. And again, moving through forward fold, stretching, elongating into the backward bend. Moving beyond ourselves. Moving within ourselves. Right? Traveling the spaces and the places in which our consciousness can be guided. And our consciousness, again, the phenomenology of it, all starts with the breath. And as we breathe, we increase circulation. But as we move, we also increase circulation. So all movement, whether it's with the breath or with the physical body, right, is medicine. Good, fantastic. Nice, long time to do that. Good, open up the legs into Dragonfly, spread out nice and wide. And again, I'm just using the hands to kind of bring myself forward. See, I shuffle my butt and come forward. So again, I'm going to do it the reverse way so I get a good frame. And then side to side. So I'm curling my toes to keep my legs straight. And I'm feeling it from hip to rib cage. And as we go side to side, starting to drop the ear left and right. Right, getting into a good way. Right, it's beautiful to do a side bend. It's really powerful. But today, we're not going to get caught into the side bend. We're going to go into the forward fold. But we're going to start slow. That's why I say we're starting with side bends, just opening it up, breathing, starting to get comfortable. Remember, the first minute is always getting comfortable. But we're going to do 5 minutes here in Dragonfly to kick off our Yin series. So again, I'm just leading into it. So the first minute is me finding my way. And getting my legs straight, curling my toes, getting to a place where I can relax everything. That's when you stop curling your toes because you're reaching so far forward. Reaching so far forward. Right, and you have this beautiful ability to reach forward, stretch forward. And then maybe bringing elbows toward the ground. Right, relax your head. You can get your elbows on the ground. You can walk a little forward to the point where you can, and then just slightly come back to where you can. Right, that'll be a nice comfort. And then again, through the breath, you can walk a little forward and then breathe through it and find a new comfortable edge. Again, it sounds oxymoronic, right? But it's like bittersweet. Right? It makes sense. Right? There is a comfortable edge. Right? It's like someone who can sit on the ledge of a cliff and not be scared, right? It's a comfortable edge. It's a place to sit, it's a place to stare, it's a place to ponder and contemplate. However, for some people, when they look into the abyss, they clearly see the abyss looking back, and what it's projecting onto them is what they're looking at. So if you look at it with fear, that fear is going to come back to you, right? And so that comfortable edge is no longer comfortable. It's just an edge. And humans don't like being on the edge. We don't like being on the edge of anything. It's scary. It's uncertain. Some people enjoy it, but they only enjoy it because they've been rewarded by it, right? Think of being on an edge without any reward, right? And that's why we search for the comfortable edge, because we always know that comfort is the reward. What we're really seeking from this posture, right, is not to get our foreheads to the ground. It's to be comfortable with our foreheads to the ground, right? I can force myself down, no problem. But is that comfortable? No. So how do I get there comfortably? Well, that's the journey of finding the edge and then trying to bring comfort to it. Then again, finding the edge and bringing comfort to it, and finding the edge and bringing comfort to it. And it's breath by breath, moment by moment, right? Breathing and being, breathing and being. Because remember, everything you could ever want or be, you already have and are. And that's the key. That's the critical lure. That's the allure, right? That's the scent or the fragrance of this blossoming consciousness. And we chase it with our conscientiousness. It's guided by a technique. It's guided by a civility, almost, if you will. And that civility is the thousands of practitioners that has made this yoga practice, right? This civilization, right? This imaginary world, this hidden kingdom, right? In which we are all kings and queens of our own dominion and domain. Right? So instead of being captivated by it, which is something that usually gets associated with civilization and, puts us in a sort of captivity, separation from nature or the wild. Become captivated. See the shadows on the cave wall as the light, right, that's dancing behind you. And this is the analogy of truth that Plato spoke of. Right? So instead of being captive by the cave and the shadows, be captivated by the dancing light. It's like the same edge, but now it's become a comfortable edge. So breathing and being through your dragonfly, through your transformation of this practice. And there it is, perfect timing, 5 minutes, slowly come up. And best part, I'm gonna go side to side, but you can do whatever it is you feel, right? You get a full minute here just to relax, release, move around in any way you want. Again, I like to just continue it and send it side to side. Because there's nothing like moving forward for me, and now moving side to side. Feels great. Sending that energy from the hips up towards the heart. And again, that's just a suggestion, right? You do what feels best for you, right? Everybody is different, and that is the key. Fantastic. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. So that was our minute. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, right? And just bring our hips Relax everything side to side once again. All right, we're gonna do something cool. Let's do something a little different. So we're gonna cross right leg on top of left leg. Good, we're gonna lie down on the ground, just like you see. So all I've done is cross my right leg over my left leg and I've lied down. That's it, nice and easy. Good, from here, you're gonna draw your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a nice squeeze. Remember I said we were gonna do shoelace? Well, this is it. So if you have a bolster, a pillow, a blanket, I would highly suggest putting it behind your head. Trust me, for the longevity of the posture, you're gonna enjoy it a lot more. But again, if you're working on natural alignment and you don't want a pillow, right, feel free not to use a support. But again, totally up to you. 3 minutes on the clock. Beautiful. And now from here, just lightly grab your knees. So I'm just grabbing opposite hand, opposite knee. So left hand on right knee, right hand on left knee, and I'm just framing up, relaxing shoulders, and drawing everything in. Want to make it a little harder on yourself? Grab your feet. And that way the knees open up. And so you see, as my feet come toward the floor, it looks more like shoelace. That's because it is. But I can also feel it in my lower back. So I really want to be careful about where I decide to rest, because again, I want this permanent lasting change. So I don't want to force anything. I want to allow and accept that energy, right? Through gravity to dissipate, dismantle, right? To relax, to let go. Beautiful. So wherever you are, whether your knees, right, are coming in towards the chest, or you're going to the next level and then moving them away, and it's more like the sitting position, right? Just be here now. That's the key. That's the mantra. Right? It's been echoed since the 60s. It's been echoed, and when I mean the 60s, I mean literally the year 60. Right? Patanjali was talking about being present just slightly after Christ and Buddha consciousness. Right? He took the religious aspects and just secularized it, turned it into pure science. Because spirituality is a science. And the spirituality scientist is the yogi, or in that time known as a rishi, one who sees. And what did they see? They saw the union of all things as one. And that's what transformed the rishi into the yogi, was through the practice of what they saw. So if you're seeing everything as non-separate and you start practicing that, you move from just seeing it to knowing it, to being it. It's just what it is. It just becomes you. What you see, you become. Relax those hips. Right, notice my arms, they're just straight. Totally relaxed, shoulders back, relax your head. Right, you're just doing shoelace from our reclined position. Very beautiful. Good, beautiful. From here, wherever you're at, just slowly uncross your legs, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice squeeze, pulse a few times, relax the back. And we're gonna do the other side. So it's gonna be 3 minutes down the other side. Drop the right knee now, left leg comes over top. Just nice, big, deep cross. And now draw your knees in towards your chest with opposite hands. You're grabbing opposite knees with opposite hands, so right onto left, left onto right. Pull in. And if that's where you want to be, that's where you want to be. You want to go a little bit deeper, grab hold of the feet and let those knees start to move away from you. Right? And you're working on that elongated spine. Right? You can feel it in your body. You can see it on the camera. Right? You can see how long the spine is. That's why I was saying, use the bolster. Let it be your support. Let it bring you to that new level of comfortable edge. Totally comfortable. But I'm also uncomfortable. And where uncomfortable and comfortable meet, it's like where hot and cold meet. Right? And that's like lukewarm. It's where yes and no meet. So if someone says yes and someone says no, then what's the answer? Well, the answer is maybe. It depends who you're listening to. Right? Same goes with this. Right? There is a feeling of yes. There is a feeling of no. And so really the exploration of yin is taking that yes into the no. Until it's known. Ooh, that was clever. Clever wordplay. I love clever wordplay. Because again, it's consciousness, right? It's phenomena. And to describe this phenomena is indescribable. It's so subjective. And yet we can have a unified experience through it. Right? You may not be feeling exactly what I'm feeling, but you're feeling something similar. You might like ice cream more than I like ice cream, but we're both eating ice cream. You might see red as a totally different color than I do, but we both agree it's red. So there's so many subtle variations within the subjectivity, and yet, objectively, it's the same. Right? We're agreeing on the label or the term or the sensation or the experience, even though it could be radically different. Again, you have no idea how I'm feeling in this. I have no idea how you're feeling. But we all want to feel comfortable. That's something we can all do. And if we can't do that here, then we back off to here. And if we can't do that here, then we just back off to foot on the ground. That's it. That's as far as we go. And remember, even though we're still in the posture, you don't have to be dead in the posture. The movement is good. Excellent. Fantastic. Uncross everything. Let it go. Soles of the feet to the floor. And let's do, again, full minute, just whatever we want. Or if you'd like to join me, tailbone tilts. I'd just like to do a good minute of tailbone tilts. So good for the back. And as we listen to this beautiful music, conducted by Bo, created by Bo, right? The word bow means beautiful, but the word bow also means rock. And so beauty, right, can also be very, very strong. And so I really feel that the word beautiful really represents the yin practice. Right? This expression of both strength, but also openness, right? Attraction, but also a strong signal, right? A strong center, right? What is beautiful onto itself, right? It doesn't require a witness position. It does to know it is beautiful. If it doesn't know it's beautiful, it can awaken to it through someone else. However, once known, we can have it for ourselves. And that's what the yoga is teaching us. Once we become aware of the yoga, then we can be in that union and communion all ourselves. But until we become aware that it's non-separate, we really don't know. We forget. We get into an amnesia or forget it. Beautiful. We're going to do bridge pose now. Tougher pose, that's okay. I would get rid of the head cushion, but if you have a thin pillow, that's fine. But again, this is going to be a little too much raised. So again, coming up with the hips. Now this is going to be hard, and that's okay. Take your time. Do as much as you can. It's only 3 minutes. Remember, if you're even this low, if you're even just 1 inch off the ground, that's great. That's you doing it. So walk your hands towards your feet. Lift your hips up high, right? And hold. Shoulder blades come together, right? That helps you with the frame. And again, your knees aren't super open. They're together. They're coming inward. Right? And that helps you strengthen. Right? You can pulse. Remember, it's all about getting comfortable. Right? What is beautiful is always comfortable. Right? Think of music. Think of the harmony. Right? It's beautiful. Why? Because it's in time. It's comfortable. Each sound is comfortable with the other. And when it's not, it's cacophony, right? It's dissonance. And so we want to free ourselves of that dis-ease, that discomfort, that dissonance, that disruption. And just feel the ease, the comfort, the ruption, right, of our practice. And the yin is a way to surrender to it. This is a very yin-yang movement, right? As we lift up and bridge, it's very easy to grow lazy or tired. So there is a persistence to it. There is a consistency. It's no different than moving forward. And you do as much micro movement as you need to. I go more into the still place because I can really feel the frame, right? I can now rest into my feet. I can feel my knees. I can lift up through my thighs, and I can ground through my shoulders, relax my head, and I can just hold this. I wonder how long I could hold it for. I haven't challenged myself in a while. So then yin becomes just about how long can you hold the posture, meditate until you're not meditating, which means you need to get the hell out of the posture, right? But when you go into yourself, you forget about the posture, right? I might as well be sitting. I have no idea. I could be standing or lying down. Once I'm in, I'm in. And I mean really in, right? Totally relaxing. And yet I'm still holding up. I'm still using my strength, my beauty. And that's what makes it so wonderful, right? Just keep pushing up. Keep telling yourself which way gravity is and go against it. Because that's where we start to heal. That's where we start to feel. You did it. Amazing. 3-minute hold. If you've never done that before, congratulations, right? It's quite the accomplishment. Again, just windshield wiper the knee side to side. That's what I'm going to do. But you can do whatever feels right. And that's the key. Whatever feels right. Whatever's calling you. Oh. Oh. Left and right for 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Fantastic. All right, let's keep moving. We're gonna do Happy Baby now. So again, I would bring back the bolster. We're gonna do a 5-minute. You wanna lie down on the ground, that's fine without the bolster, but you can start with the bolster. You can always remove it. Bring knees into chest, that's level 1. You can just hold the whole time doing this. Level 2, grab hold of your ankles. You can just hold the entire time doing this. Or level 3, reach through, grab the outsides of the feet through the insides of the knees. And then you lift your legs up, right? You work on getting your tailbone toward the floor. So I'll make it dramatic. Tailbone. See the difference? So my tailbone is up. I'm gonna bring my tailbone down. And then I flatten my back. And that's the whole point. We're working on alignment. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. 5 minutes can feel like a long time in certain postures, right? Give yourself the accommodation and modification to change, right? To do things differently. Right? Breathing in what the earth is breathing out. That's the key. with that breath. Remember, what differentiates a beginner to an intermediate to an advanced practitioner is how long or how often one can be vigilant, observe, aware of the breath. A beginner remembers it every once in a while. An intermediate can remember it half the time. Advanced, all the time. If you're aware of the breath, whether you're breathing in long and peaceful or short and sweet, that's the key, right? This practice is all about the breath. Because once you figure it out in the body through the breath, what isn't possible? Everything is possible, right? If you can breathe, you can receive. So if you're working on healing, why wouldn't healing come? If you're working on strengthening, why wouldn't strengthening come? If you're working on painlessness, why wouldn't painlessness come? Right? Less pain, less problems. It's whatever your intention is. Intentionality, tenacity, learning how to be. You are. So when you learn how to be, right, it's about knowing our being, right? Knowing ourself. Like Socrates said, to know thyself is the greatest thing one can do. The great miracle of life is inside of us. We have no idea how we got here. We have no idea where we're going. So it's really important to understand that all life is a miracle, but in particular, our own is even more special because we get to subjectively experience it. We get to have a feeling of, this is my life. And although that appears as a major enemy to a lot of yoga, because it's what keeps us separate, it's really the very thing that, helps us along our journey. It carries us like a wind. Fantastic. Slowly coming down. Right, imagine a sail without any wind in it. Imagine a person without any ego. Right, same thing. Not going to go anywhere in life. Just going to be where you are, and that's non-separate too, so that's totally fine. Again, spend a minute doing whatever you want. Again, I really like to just do gentle tailbone tilts because I really find that by moving the base of the spine, right, the hips, can really access all that area in the solar plexus. I can really feel my ribcage dropping down and my alignment becoming more natural, right? That feeling of flat back, which is anything but flat, right? There's 4 curves. But the feeling of flat, right? Relaxing all those muscles, that's the beauty. That's what feels so good because, again, through this practice, we're creating that permanent lasting change. So better out than in. So if you have strong sensation in your body, why are you holding it? Let's let it go. And these little moments, these 1 minute sort of check-ins, these mindful minutes where we start to move the medicine, move the body, move the mind through awareness, through circulation, through respiration, through movement, right? We get to feel how we heal. All right, fantastic. Rolling onto left or right side, whichever you prefer. And let's come up to a comfortable seated position once again. Fantastic. So we're going to do shoelace again, right? It's really important. We do a lot of hip openers. But again, we're opening the hips now, but we're doing it, toward the center line. So it's internal rotation, not external rotation. And we always need a little bit more practice with that. So again, taking right heel over top of left knee, just like this. And then from here, you just grab hold of your feet. And because we've already done it, slowly, slowly go into it. Slowly, slowly. Get as comfortable as you can. Right? Stacking one knee on top of the other. Right? Eventually, we'll all look like this in Bernie Clark's book. You know, that beautiful forward fold, perfectly widened legs. Right, but this is the cover shot. This is a beautiful yoga posture. It's very powerful. So again, stacking knees. See how the knees are stacked? You want to really make sure there's no space there. And that's it. That's might be your whole yin is this. Drop your head, relax. But you might be able to bring your forearms down onto your leg and then start to curl your body. And as you do this, you might be able to bring the hands to the floor, much like we did with Dragonfly, or just cross-legged, right? Sitting in a comfortable position. Okay, we're only going to do 3 minutes again, but in total, that's going to be 6 minutes. 3 lying down, 3 sitting up. So again, it is longer than anything else we've held. But it's nice to really focus sometimes on a particular posture. Why shoelace today? It's just what came from the depths of my soul. And that's the beauty, because again, all yoga comes from the soul, comes from the Atma. And why? Because it was born or created of the Brahma, right? That which creates the holy spark. So the universal spark, science calls it the Big Bang. In sort of the Hindu philosophy, right, that Brahma. But again, the Brahma in yogic philosophy is more, again, a consciousness of science. That of course, if we have a holy spark within us, a soul, a spirit, that this soul spirit would be born of a larger soul spirit, because it's an ever-repeating pattern, and we are all manifestations of that ever-repeating pattern. And so to be Brittany, to be Alex, to be Eric, right, to be Fran is special. But it's special because it's actually just very special to be alive. That's the being aspect I keep reminding you. Right? So it's not what's not special. It is special to be ourselves. But that's not the special part. The special part is the being. Right? The ourselves is special, but the ourselves leads us back to the being, and that's what's really special, because that being is what birthed our being, right? Life created more life, and once life got moving, right, we got grooving, and it started to get more complex and more complex, and then we created practices like yoga, because simplicity is complicated understood. And so simplicity takes serenity, right? The ability to accept the things that we cannot change, right? Simplicity implies courage, right? To change the things we can, right? Keep it simple. The line is actually keep it simple, stupid, because it's stupid not to keep it simple. Because it's all simple, right? We complicate it. But being is super simple because it all comes down to be. Can you let it be? Piece by piece. Truly, peace. P-E-A-C-E, by piece. P-E-I-C-E. Right? Each posture is a piece of a greater piece. Beautiful. Slowly coming up. And again, real simple. Right? There's 2 ways to transition. 1, you uncross your legs. 2, you follow the top leg all the way around. You look at me between your legs, right? And you come into shoelace on the other side. Again, totally up to you how you want to take that transition. I just like to have fun with you sometimes. All the time, but sometimes a little more fun or a little bit more creative. Again, I think it's because this is, a long hold, right? Doing 6 minutes in shoelace, that's 6 minutes aside, right? That's a long time. So it's actually 12 minutes in total. I think this is the longest we've ever done shoelace for in this class. And again, I'm noticing the difference in left and right. That's why we started with which foot was dominant, which one isn't. And again, now I'm trying to get that same sensation, right? Stacking hips, right? Really watching that space between the knees, right? And this is our first position. Just relax. Just straight up in the air, drop your head. All right, position 2, onto your forearms. All right, breathing and feeling. Of course, position 3, your hands are out in front, you start to come down. Again, I only come down so far because I'm teaching. But again, if this was me in practice, I'd be all the way down and just surrendering to it, right? Letting gravity pull me into it. And that's the key. Something we spoke about in the last class is that everything that grows towards the light. Maybe we talked about it in this class too, earlier. I'm starting to perfectly forget, right? It doesn't matter. What's important is the consciousness. So everything grows towards the light, but this ability to grow towards the light is actually growing against gravity. So the sun provides 2 energies for us. It provides light, which is warmth, but it also provides gravity, which I really feel is growth. Right? The light provides the warmth, the gravity provides the growth. Right? So the light, just like when we're cold, we chase the warmth. So we, like a plant, we grow toward it. That's the logic of the biological. That's the logic in the biological. It's just inherent, right? Something's warm, we want to move toward it. But if something wants to grow, it has to grow against something. And what are we growing against? This invisible force called gravity. So we move toward the light, but we move against gravity, and that's the science of yin and yang. That's the science of yoga. Right? We see the moon because it's a reflection of the sun. We see gravity because of the light we chase. The more we chase the light, the more we're moving against gravity. Beautiful, everyone. I hope that was a nice divine distraction for you. Beautiful work today. And just slowly uncross your legs now. And again, take a minute to do whatever you want. I'm just gonna roll side to side, because that's the way I like to release it. Always through sort of side bends or twists or pelvic tilts, right? There's always, for my body, ways to stimulate that parasympathetic activity, right? To help relax, to help reset, to help release. And that's the key. And let it flow, let it go. All right, sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna do one last posture, and that's gonna be sitting pose today. So now you can obviously bring the heels toward the tailbone if you so choose, or again, just sit nice and comfortable as we did before. Whatever leg is dominant in front, and then ankles underneath your knees. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're comfortable. That's the key, right? If you're not comfortable, you know, there's no point in sitting. There's no point in doing postures if you're not comfortable. So breathing here, feeling here, connecting here, sitting up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And back to that original breathing pattern, right? That original breathing pattern as you feel breathing all the way in and all the way out. Right? All the way in, all the way out. And As you breathe all the way in, all the way out, you're just getting into a stronger sensation, right? You're feeling that elasticity. You're going with your own breath. You're extending the breath through yourself. You're feeling the healing. That's the key, right? Learning how to tether how we feel at the end of class with how we feel at the beginning of class. Where were you when you started? Now where are you? And notice the difference, right? Can you breathe all the way in? Can you breathe all the way out? Can you stimulate parasympathetic activity? Right? Through stimulating, right? Can you help yourself relax by doing something about it? It's amazing. It almost sounds oxymoronic, right? Because you would think like doing nothing, like you need to do less to be more, which is true, but it's not the whole truth. Sometimes you have to stimulate, right? Doing less. You have to motivate yourself to do less. You have to encourage yourself to do less in order to then gain, receive, accept more. The analogy sometimes is like cleaning a cup, right? It's nice to just say the cup is empty, but if the cup is not clean, it's not really empty, right? And that's why even in yoga, we start with certain tenets, certain practices. And one of them is cleanliness, which can be interpreted many ways. The way I like to see it is more like the cup analogy, right? The cup can be empty, right? We all have the ability to be Atma, soul, empty. But if the cup is dirty, it's not really clean. It's not really empty, right? It contains things. And so we're stimulating the emptiness by cleaning the cup, by making it more empty. So one psychologist presented to her class a jar, and that's what we are when we're sitting. We are a jar. So let's just imagine ourselves as a mason jar without a lid on, right? And the universe is moving through us, right? We're moving through the universe right now. We're spinning around the sun spinning around the galaxy in the universe. We're actually in full motion right now. And where we are today is not where we were yesterday. It's not where we were 10,000 years from where we are today, right? We're moving forward. Whatever forward is, which is kind of like spiral, round and round and round. Wow, that cosmic consciousness is totally amazing to think about it, to feel it, to know it, and then to present it, to show it to each of you. So as we clean the cup, we find more emptiness. Until the cup, literally itself, within every atom of that cup, right? You realize within every atom, from the proton to the neutron to the electron, right? The atomic nature of the cup has space in it. Right? That even a cup has space. And when you reach that level, right, everything appears as it is, infinite. Right? It just is. You, me, the computer, right, the Wi-Fi, this time, this space, this feeling, right, is as it is, infinite. And the mathematics of infinity, right, the circumference is everywhere, and yet it is nowhere. Or the center is everywhere, and yet it is nowhere. Right? Where is center in infinity but here and now? Right? If it's infinite, then there's no start or stop. So therefore, where would center be in the infinite? It'd be right where you are. It'd be right where I am. Well, how could it be both places at the same time? Well, that's why we clean the cup. And that cleanliness is not a literal cleanliness, right? It's a digging deeper. And the deeper we dig, right? The deeper we dig, the higher we fly. The end unearths the beginning, right? So the end of practice, how we're sitting right now, how we're feeling right now, the phenomenology of it. That's how we want to remember the next time we start class, right? We want to take what we have with us to the beginning so that we can grow from here the next time we begin. Beautiful. Take one more deep breath in and hold the breath for 10, 9, move your body around, right? Remember, sitting position is master pose. This is the hardest posture in the whole Yin series, even harder than frog. 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep holding the breath. Lie down. And when you lie down fully in Shavasana, then let it go. So keep holding the breath. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to stay sitting up. But for each of you, it's now time to take Shavasana. So just let yourself lie down. And once you lie down, then you exhale. Right? Control. That's what pranayama means. Right? Controlling the life force energy. We don't really, right? There's so much of the breath that is involuntary for good reason. We'd probably all be dead if the breathing was under our control. I definitely would have forgotten about it, right? There was so much of my life that was not yoga, right? In my early teens, in my childhood, adolescence. But then there's a moment where, as a child, I don't see a separation from my first yoga class to sort of like the end of my innocence. Sort of like yoga brings that back because it becomes about play, right? It becomes about fun again. Life takes on not new meaning, but it's almost like original meaning, because I wouldn't even call it old meaning, because it's not old, right? It's original. Right? And when you connect with your original meaning, your essential source, which is yourself, right? I can remember a time where I existed without realizing I was Alexander, like this person, a boy, right? A child, a human. I was just a being, and that being was wild and free. Right? It's not crazy. It's not good or bad. It just is what it is. And as you take Shavasana, as you lie down on the ground, right? That's what you are. You just are. You just be. So let's squeeze our glutes, release our glutes, squeeze our glutes, release our glutes, squeeze our glutes, release our glutes. And let's squeeze and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Relax your jaw, relax your head, relax your fingers. And now you can relax your toes, relax that glute, and just let that tension just dissipate. And just lying here, breathing here, being here. Again, same as before, the meditation continues from sitting to lying down. For some, it's almost easier. It's easier to get to sleep. You can sleep sitting up, you'll just fall over. When you fall asleep lying down, you just let go. There's a very thin space between deep sleep and meditation. Meditation has the awareness. Time starts going by, the mind lets go, the body lets go, so there's no pain. Right? It's different than mindfulness. The experience of mindfulness is you're noticing everything all the time. Sensory perception, physical generation, right? Sensation, context, content. But with the experience of meditation, you're just gone. There's no self, there's no thinking, and yet there is thinking, and yet there is a self. Right? So a lot of people say you stop breathing. You never stop breathing. You just need less air, so it appears that your body stops breathing. right? It just becomes so quieted. Your body is so full of life that you don't need to suck air, right? You don't need to. You can breathe through your skin. So even for those who believe that, you stop breathing, you don't actually stop breathing. In the yogic philosophy, you actually breathe through your body, your fingers, your toes, your nose, right? Your crown of your head, your back, right? The breath comes through the skin. Skin is an organ, like a sponge. Because again, the oscillations of the mind still, the mechanisms of the body still, everything becomes quieter, more silent, more spacious. And that's what Shavasana is all about, right? You're moving toward the light. You're also moving against gravity. You're doing both at the very same time. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax your head side to side. Twinkle the fingers like stars. Roll out through the ankles. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Knees bend. Stretch arms up over your head. A few tailbone tilts. Ready, start to rock your knees side to side, and then roll it onto one side, and come up with helping hands. Beautiful. Sitting up nice and tall. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position, right? And bring your hands together. Bring your hands down towards your hips, and then up towards your head, and then back down. And then back up, and then super really fast, super. Good, and relax. Hold that space, hold that place. Feel within you, feel around you. Remember, non-separate means non-separate, right? What isn't the source? What isn't gravity moving through? What isn't growing toward the light? It all is. Everything. Every part of it. It's all here. It's all now. There's nothing more sacred than here. Nothing more special than now. So with that consciousness, we're going to slowly close our palms, close our practice as we chant the mantra Om. Deep breath in. Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In your hearts, in your lives, and everything that you see, are, and be. The divine in me sees and shares the divine in you. In love, with love, through love. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. Namaste. Yay, everyone. So good. Thank you, everyone. Lots of love.